Today I'm making a pretty sad announcement. My cat, my baby, Rudy, is no longer here with us. He had to be sent over to the Rainbow Bridge on June 12th, Monday. Some of you that might have seen my vlogs, heard me talk about how thin he's getting, and I don't know how much longer he'd be with us. Many of you have seen all the videos with him, and before I removed all my videos at one point and then, re-put other videos, all my older videos with him and his brother Butterball, who has passed long ago, back in 2015, Butterball died. Butterball and Rudy, they're together now for the Rainbow Bridge. I'm trying not to cry. All I've done is cry. It's the first time I put makeup on in days. I don't know how long that's going to stay on, but we have to go out. We have to return Rudy's food because we gave him a certain kind of food, and my other cats, Salem and Magic, don't really like it that much. They like it a little bit, Salem does, but not enough. So we're going to return that and get the money and then get them something they like that they can eat. I'm going to be making a video in the future called The Life of Rudy, or Life with Rudy, or something that way. I'm not sure right now. I'm trying to get through this. I just wanted to let you know because he's been a big part of all my videos. Most of the time when I'm making jewelry in here and doing my jewelry tutorials, he's in here meowing, and you can hear him on the background. My vlogs and everything. Product reviews, he usually is in here, but if they're for a company and not for myself, I tend to have to edit those meows out of there because it's a professional review for a company, and I can't have him meowing in the background. Rudy, we think, had kidney failure. We're not really sure. Rudy was a big part of our lives and mine. I feel like a light has gone out on my life now without him. He was everything to me. He was a lot like Butterball. They were both very affectionate lap cats that always needed love and gave love. Rudy was even more obsessed with me than even Butterball was, and more affectionate than any cat I've had in my life. He loved me like no cat ever loved me. I didn't think it was possible for a cat to love someone so much as Rudy loved me. We slept with each other every night. We had a routine. So the nighttime's hard. The morning's hard. Everything is hard. The house feels so quiet, even though we have Salem and Magic. Salem's getting older. He's going to be 8 in September. Magic is only 3, but Magic has just been in this house not even a year yet. It will be a year in September. So Magic's not that affectionate. He can be. He'll sit with us, but he doesn't like us to pick him up or hold him or hug him or kiss him. You can pet him and he'll sit by you. He'll even come on the bed sometimes and lay between you, but not too close. More by your legs. Salem is a loner. He was more needy as a kitten, but as he's gotten older, he used to hop on my husband's chest at night when we go in the bedroom to watch TV, but now you hardly see him. He likes to do his own thing. He isn't much of a lap cat. He's a little more so than Magic. Magic's not gonna let you pick him up probably from a long time. I don't know if that'll change. He was a semi-feral, so this has been good progress with him. But as far as ever being like Rudy, no. Rudy and Butterball were always the door greeters. Whenever you went out, you knew they'd be right there. When Butterball passed, Rudy kind of took the torch over. Butterball passed the torch to Rudy, and Rudy was more affectionate, even more so without Butterball there. and he was sad and he was depressed, and I had not planned on getting another cat, but because Rudy was the only cat left, and he was so depressed and crying and looking every time we came back in, where's Butterball, that we got Salem as a kitten, and it helped us too. But I can't do that. I have Magic and I have Salem, and it's hard to afford these cats. As it is, I beat myself up that I didn't take Rudy to the vet sooner. We did about 2 years ago when he was throwing up and had diarrhea, but that soon stopped when we changed his diet. They didn't, and everything was healthy. They ran blood tests and stool samples. They said that he's getting on years, and you know, there's not much you could do. And if it was thyroid problems, you give him medicine at an older, advanced age. We estimate he was between 16 and 18 because I found him when I was living in Florida in our apartment, and he was peeking in. And I'll tell that story when I make that video, The Life of Rudy. Try not to cry. That's all I've done. Haven't eaten much. I eat just to make my husband happy. I let him see me eat a little something because he wants me to eat. You gotta understand, me and Rudy were like this. Me and Butterball were like this, but Rudy stepped in. And now it's different. I feel like a light has gone out in my life. It's so quiet around here. Rudy was a big presence. He had a large presence. He made himself known. And it's very quiet now. Magic meows a lot, but not like Rudy. Rudy made a lot of noise. Salem, you know, in the morning, they'll both Salem and Magic will meow a little and do little things, but it's very quiet. Mealtime is like that. Everything with Rudy was a big project. He took long to eat. Everything's quiet. There's no fiasco. I put the food down and it's done within minutes. With Rudy, it was a whole meow fest and chaos, and him stealing this one's food and that one's food, and Rudy this, Rudy that. And he would take 20 minutes to half an hour to eat his food, and I have to stay in the kitchen with him because he had a certain food and he had breathing issues. So sometimes he'd have a little L-lysine in there to help him with because he had like an eye herpes and it caused some respiratory problems, but when it flared up. So I don't want the other cats to eat his food, but unless there was none of that in there, he didn't take that all the time. Just in the recent past weeks, because it flared up, I didn't want to take him in. But he was getting thinner and thinner. And it went really fast, like all of a sudden, whew, his face, we used to call Rudy round face, was fat and chubby, and his belly used to swing, and then he had like a triangle face, and everything was sunk in. But everything was good. When we took him, all his tests were good, and his heart was strong. All his tests were normal. I could have ran more tests, but honestly, he was doing good. And I just figured attribute to old age. But he was gotten thinner in the past month. Because Valentine's Day, I took videos, and I'll be showing you that when I make that other video in tribute to Rudy. He was fine. And Mother's Day, I took a picture of all of them on the bed, and it's horrible. And I don't want to cry because I got to go out. I haven't been really out. I wanted to stay home. Like, you don't want to stay home because every place reminds me of Rudy, and I keep expecting to see him. And then when I go out, I want to go out because I'll feel better. But then when I go out, I want to come home because I want to be where Rudy would be, and my cats, Salem and Magic, I want to be around them. No one would understand. See, I don't have kids. I never wanted kids. I can't even have kids, the doctor told me, but I never wanted kids anyway, so that worked out. But I've always had cats, and I've always wanted to be a cat mom. And they're not just pets or animals or cats to me. They are my babies. They're like children, little humans. And Rudy was like a dog almost. He acted like a dog. I think whoever had him raised him with dogs because he did everything like a dog. He was very friendly, very loving, And he followed me everywhere. He was my stalker, I used to say. In the bathroom, he would be there. He even came in the shower the day, that morning of taking him to the vet to send him over the rainbow. But he jumped in the shower like 2 to 3 times. I had to dry him off. But he wasn't himself that the last 2 days. He was meowing. I think he was in pain. He would just sit there and go, He ate, but the night before he didn't eat his good night snack because I can't leave food out because the other one will eat it. Plus, I live in the South and in the woods, and there'd be tons of ants all over the place. So I had food regimens, so they got food, and I couldn't leave it on the floor, so I'd give them a good night snack before bed to fill their bellies. Between 11 and 12:30, they'd get that. So it would hold out till I woke up in the morning. He didn't want it, and he barely ate the night snack and his dinner prior. But he ate his breakfast and lunch and his other snack. He didn't want to eat breakfast in the morning. Nothing, zero. And all he did was stare out the door and meow. He even acted weird the night before. Like the whole day, that prior day and that night before, he kept like trying to climb the front door. He kept trying to go to every closed door and try to get in there and climb. He was looking at the ceiling. I don't know what he was seeing. I think he knew. I think it was time. I only wished I had the money. I tried to apply for care credit, and those asses denied me. And they pre-approved me, and they even pre-approved my identification thing, and they made me go through that thing where you have to take a stupid video, get your ID, and then for no reason, and I don't know why they have to send me they declined it. Luckily, I had a credit card that I used at the vet, but before, I had to wait for that credit card to come to be able to take Rudy to the vet. Had I had the money, I might have been able to get more tests done before it got too bad. And I know he was old and he probably would have been gone anyway, the vet said. But I could have prolonged his life possibly for another maybe 6 months to a year to 2 years, and as long as he had good quality of life. I don't want to prolong it if he's suffering and not having quality. So I'm a little upset about that. I feel like sometimes they only care about money in this world, and I hate it. I'm trying to get the care credit so that if anything ever happens to Salem and Magic, I'll have the means to take care of it before it gets bad, and then it's beyond what I can do. I'm going to make this short video and wrap it up, but I wanted to let everyone know that Rudy's no longer with us, and hopefully he's over the Rainbow Bridge with his brother. Most of you know that I'm clairaudient and clairvoyant. And with Butterball, I asked him to meow for me that night, and I heard it, but I didn't hear it with Rudy. I haven't heard it. My husband heard him the day we came home 3 times, and he's not even clairaudient. But I haven't heard him. And so I communicated, and I asked if he was happy and at peace. And I don't like to communicate when my vibrations and frequency is low because you attract negative. But I always do a prayer of protection and specify who and what I want to speak with. So that helps. And I did a short. I have to still listen to the rest of them. They said a lot of other things, but my mind has to be clear to hear it. But I did hear, when I asked if he was happy and at peace, that he said, yes, he is, just like with Butterball. So I got to listen to the rest. I know they always answer me, because cats aren't going to answer you in a human voice. You might hear them meow, and you can get updates from others over there. Whether you believe it or not, it's true, and I have even pictures of Butterball and my cat Spunky and other cats. So when I feel better and I'm over this hump where I can't stop crying, then I will communicate with him and try to take pictures and ask for him. But right now, if it feels like you're waiting for someone to return that's never going to return, but you're still waiting for them. I don't want to cry again. I keep crying off and on. It goes in waves. I couldn't even talk that day at the vet when we had to put him. I was trying to tell my husband to put the meditation music on when we send him off, like we did for Butterball. I couldn't speak. And finally, I just said, put the music on. And he got his phone and he pulled up the video. And I bawled my eyes through the whole thing. And I hated leaving him behind. And I'm still waiting for his ashes. But I'll talk more on my next video, on my tribute to Rudy. I really have to go. I'm waiting for the vet to call because they made a mistake on the bill. They were supposed to give us a discount and a few other things. Hopefully my husband will be out of the shower. He can talk to them. I really don't want to. So we're going to go out, return Rudy's food. I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby. I want to get a shadow box to put his paw print. And also I never made one for Butterball. Butterball has a trunk, a keepsake trunk with all his favorite things, but Rudy didn't have favorite things. He had that little round thing with the scratching post and the ball that goes around. I can't put that in a trunk because the boys listen to it. But anyway. Okay, so I got a card from our vet, a condolence card, and in it there was a poem card with Rudy's foot stamp. We're also getting a clay imprint of his foot, and then the doctor wrote stuff in the card. Hold on. I'm not doing this on my cam because we just got back from the store. When we called the police, they haven't picked up Rudy's ashes yet. So I'm going to make something for Rudy like I did for Butterball. I made Butterball a trunk and bought all these things. So this was the plaque I saw. It was actually on sale for $6 something. And this is like a clip-on thing with a picture, not mine. It's what came. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to remove this because it's too country, and I don't do country farmhouse decorating. Mine's glam. So I picked up this frame, and I'm going to put a good picture of him in there, and then I'm going to glue it, but cover the piece, once I pull that off, it's going to leave missing paint. So I'm going to put that here. Then I got glitter letters that I'm going to spell Rudy and put it underneath here. They're glitter stickers. Then I'm going to put, not the red hearts, but the silver stickers all over. And then I wanted a full body cat that looked like Rudy, but they don't have any, but they had faces. Tuxedo cat. I wish his eyes were green and round, but that's the best I can do, so there's a few of them. And I'm going to put them around here, and that's going to be for the memorial when I'll have a candle and everything. So I have to create this still. But I probably won't be doing that today because I have to start. It's getting late and I have to start dinner. So yeah, I probably won't get Rudy till sometimes next week. But I want to do a memorial and set it up on the table in the living room and stuff like that. And then I want to get a shadow box when I can afford it and put his paw print and some pictures. Bright. But this is the cat's room. This was Rudy's favorite toy. I used to play with this, and I used to have videos up, and I'll try to find them and post them. And when I'd go like this, he'd do a snapping sound and hiss at it, and he loved it. This was his other favorite. You spin the ball and you scratch. So the boys still play with this, and that was originally for Salem, so I can't pack them in a tote. This is the thing I made for Butterball, my cat, Rudy's brother. And these are my cats, Spunky before them, Cuddles, and his mother, Midnight. Looks a lot like he's Fluffy and Butterball. So what I did was I bought this from Hobby Lobby. It was on sale, and I got 2 of these picture frames, and I glued it, and then I got the letters, and I put Butterball. This is back when I had red and black and gold and leopard prints, so this matched. And I got these sticker paw prints that are raised, And I put how cute because I used to say how cute to Butterball all the time. I used to go, how cute, how cute. And he used to go around in a circle with his toy, Mr. Sock. And I put hearts and I love you. And on the front as well. And then I put all his favorite stuff inside and his clay paw print. I always meant to get a shadow box. Oh, I would open it, but I have all his favorite things. He had a lot of favorite things because I had him when he was like 3 or 4 days old. There's his Mr. Sock, stuffed animal that looks like him, and his ashes. And eventually I'll put Rudy next to it, but it was Butterball. This I got because my hubby bought it for me a long time ago because it looks like Rudy. We used to call Rudy Round Face, so this is funny. It had like a face, just like a head. And when he was fat and healthy. And this was like a Christmas ornament, but it reminded me of Rudy, even though it wasn't exactly like this. But there's also this one. It's a little dusty. I have to clean it. It was a Rudy tuxedo kind of cat. That's my cat Spunky that died a long time ago. And so this is the cat's room. I'm going to have more memorial pictures up on the wall. I want to put pictures over there, but my cat Salem might knock them down. So that's why there's nothing over there. So mostly over here. But this is the cat's room. It's all about the cats. I'm gonna finish this and make another video and let you know everything else. I just wanted to let you know.